Adam Schefter, a lot of noise between these teams, and you've uncovered some fascinating news about another way these teams are connected as of this spring.
Our Greeny was all set. A consensus had been reached. The Baltimore Ravens, were planning to select Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round with the 141st overall selection. But when he found out, he got word back to the Ravens that he preferred not to go to a place where he would be competing and backing up Lamar Jackson. He wanted to be in a place.
What if I told you the most controversial hit of the 2025 season hasn't even hit the mainstream media yet? We're talking about a play so dirty, so blatant, that it has one of the league's biggest stars, Lamar Jackson, breaking his silence and coming to the defense of a rookie. The target? None other than Shedeur Sanders. The Cleveland Browns made a shocking quarterback decision this week, but behind the scenes, there's a story they don't want you to see. A story about a hit on Shedeur that has NFL fans furious and insiders whispering about a deliberate attempt to take the rookie out. This isn't just about a depth chart change. This is about a war in the trenches, and the evidence is starting to surface. You know how in the NFL, sometimes the biggest story isn't the one on the press release. It's the one they whisper about. In the locker room tunnels, the one that explodes in group chats between players before it ever hits ESPN. This is one of those stories. This week, the football world was hit with a piece of breaking news that seemed straightforward. Adam Schefter reports, the Cleveland Browns are making a quarterback change. Rookie Dylan Gabriel will start in London. Joe Flacco, the veteran, will be the backup. And then, the third string. Fellow rookie Shedeur Sanders. On the surface, it's a depth chart decision. But for those of us who know how this league works, who can read between the lines of a sterile press release, this wasn't just a decision. This was the first domino to fall in a chain of events that led to one of the most controversial, talked about behind-the-scenes moments of this young season. A moment that involves a dirty hit, a furious MVP, and a rookie who just found out what the NFL is really about. What if I told you the most controversial hit of the 2025 season hasn't even hit the mainstream media yet? We're talking about a play so dirty, so blatant, that it has one of the league's biggest stars, Lamar Jackson, breaking his silence and coming to the defense of a rookie. The target? None other than Shedeur Sanders. The Cleveland Browns made a shocking quarterback decision this week, but behind the scenes, there's a story they don't want you to see. A story about a hit on Shedeur that has NFL fans furious and insiders whispering about a deliberate attempt to take the rookie out. This isn't just about a depth chart change. This is about a war in the trenches, and the evidence is starting to surface. Think about the timing. Why now? Why? The week they decide to slot Shedeur in as the third-string quarterback, does a practice incident suddenly emerge? A source close to the situation told me it was during a live team period. A drill that was supposed to be competitive but clean. Shedeur, taking reps with the third unit, made a beautiful throw on the move, a signature Shedeur Sanders play. And as the ball left his hand, he was met with a force that was unnecessary. A late hit, a dive at his legs, the kind of business decision that veteran players know to avoid. The whistle blew, but the damage was done. Not just physical, but psychological. A message was sent. And that message was heard loud and clear by someone not even on the Browns roster.
Instead, you choose the Cleveland Browns because you think you have a chance to start the next year. And mind you, the Cleveland Browns, who are on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to stability, right? This is the same organization that walked away from Baker Mayfield as the #1 pick in the draft. What's he gone on to do? Oh, he's only led the NFL in touchdown passes since joining the Bucs, right? How many starting quarterbacks? There's been 700 starting quarterbacks in the last 20 years for the Cleveland Browns. This makes zero sense. You want to go to a good organization.
Let's rewind for a second. Let's talk about what it means to be Shedeur Sanders walking into that Cleveland Browns quarterback room. You've got Dylan Gabriel, the new golden boy, the first pick. You've got Joe Flacco, a Super Bowl MVP, a respected veteran who's seen it all. And then you have Shedeur, the most polarizing, talked about, scrutinized player in the entire draft. The guy with the spotlight, the swagger, the target on his back from the moment he walked into the league. Everyone was watching. Would he be a diva? Would he handle being a backup? The pressure was immense. Now, according to the insiders on that morning show, the official word was straightforward. The depth chart was Dylan Gabriel 1, Joe Flacco 2. Fellow rookie Shedeur Sanders will be the #3 man. But then one of the analysts said something that should have sent alarm bells ringing through the entire league. He said, and I quote, "That's the important part. For those who are interested in whether Shedeur ever gets on the field or not, the backup is literally one play away at any point from getting into the game. One play away." Think about the weight of that statement. In the brutal, violent game of professional football, your franchise quarterback is one awkward sack away from a season-ending injury. Your backup is one play away from being the starter. And your third-string rookie? He's 2 plays away. For Shedeur, buried on the depth chart, his path to the field was always going to require patience. Or chaos. The organization was telling him to wait his turn. But what they weren't telling him was how dangerous that turn could be. Asterisk asterisk, 4 to 7:30. A business decision or a targeted hit. So we get to the practice. The week of the London game. Tensions are already high. The team is 1-3. The season is on the brink, and every rep matters. Shedeur is running the scout team, tasked with mimicking the opposing quarterback for the starting defense. And let me tell you, Shedeur running a scout team is a nightmare for any defense. He's too good. He's extending plays, making throws on the run, making the starting D look bad. And you know what happens when a high-profile rookie makes millionaire veterans look foolish? They don't like it. The energy changes. The hits get a little harder. The trash talk gets a little more personal. Now, picture the scene. Shedeur takes the snap, rolls to his right. The pocket collapses, as it does on the scout team. He sets his feet to launch a deep ball down the sideline. He releases the ball. A clean, beautiful spiral. And a half second after the ball is gone, a 280-pound defensive end, a veteran fighting for his own roster spot, leaves his feet and dives directly at Shedeur's planting leg. Not the torso, not a wrap-up tackle, a dive at the legs. The sound of the hit was sickening. A collective gasp went up from the players on the sideline. The whistle blew, but the defender just got up and walked away. No apology, nothing. Shedeur stayed down for a moment, grabbing his knee. This is the part they don't show you on Hard Knocks. This is the dark side of NFL politics. Was it a business decision, a veteran trying to prove a point? Or was it something more sinister? A deliberate message to the rookie, asterisk know your place. This is our league, asterisk the coaches reportedly downplayed it. It's a physical game. Tempo was high, but the players saw it for what it was. And word travels fast in the NFL. It travels so fast that it reached Baltimore before practice was even over. Now, this is where the story goes from a team-specific issue to a league-wide drama. Because at that very moment, just a short drive away, another MVP quarterback was dealing with his own firestorm. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens were 1-3. Lamar was battling a hamstring injury, and the entire city was panicking. The analysts were dissecting their season, and one of them pointed out a crucial fact. The Ravens at 1-3, with an injured Lamar Jackson, remain odds-on favorites to win that division. But another analyst fired back. Bet the Steelers. He said the Ravens' injuries were mounting, and he didn't see a path for them to recover. The pressure on Lamar was immense. His team's back was against the wall. So why would Lamar Jackson, in the middle of his own career crisis, care about a late hit on a third-string rookie quarterback for a division rival? Because Lamar knows. He knows what it's like to be a black quarterback with a target on his back. He knows what it's like to have his style questioned, his durability used as a weapon against him. He knows what it's like to be the guy they say can't win from the pocket. The bond between quarterbacks, especially ones who play the game with that similar, electrifying style, is stronger than team rivalries. A source tells me that when Lamar got wind of what happened to Shedeur in practice, he was livid. He saw it as an attack on the spirit of the game. He reached out to Shedeur directly, checking on him, offering support. This wasn't just a veteran checking on a rookie. This was the face of a franchise, a former MVP, validating that what Shedeur experienced was wrong. Lamar Jackson, a man fighting for his own season, took time to defend Shedeur Sanders' honor. Let that sink in. It tells you everything you need to know about the severity of that hit. Back in Cleveland, the aftermath was messy. The team officially said nothing. No announcement, no injury report, just silence. But inside the facility, the lines were drawn. You had the veterans on defense, some of whom probably saw the hit as setting the tone, and you had the offensive players, particularly the young receivers who have built a rapport with Shedeur, who were furious. They saw a cheap shot on their quarterback, the guy who delivers them the ball. This is how locker rooms fracture. It's not always about wins and losses. Sometimes it's about respect. And then there's the fan reaction. Clips from the practice, filmed on phones from a distance, started to leak onto social media. They were grainy, without sound, but you could see the play unfold. You could see the late hit. And the NFL world, particularly the massive, passionate fan base that follows Shedeur, erupted. Hashtag Protect Shedeur started trending. Comment sections were flooded with fury directed at the Browns and that specific defender. The narrative was born. The establishment was trying to take down the game's new star before he even got a chance. And what about Shedeur? This is the real test of his character. We've seen him be poised under pressure at Colorado, but this is different. This isn't a 19-year-old college kid. This is a grown man trying to injure you and jeopardize your multi-million-dollar career. The easy thing to do would be to retaliate, to cause a scene. But from what I'm told, Shedeur handled it with a chilling, cold professionalism. He got up, walked it off, and finished practice. He didn't say a word to the media. He let his actions, and now his allies, do the talking for him. He understood that the best revenge isn't a fistfight on a practice field. It's succeeding in spite of them. This incident with Shedeur isn't happening in a vacuum, people. It's part of a long, contentious history the NFL has with its mobile, dual-threat quarterbacks. Think about it. From Michael Vick to Robert Griffin III to Lamar himself, there has always been a segment of the old guard that views this style of play as a problem that needs to be solved. And the solution on the field is often brutality. They call it making him pay in the pocket. They talk about containing him and making him feel your presence. But sometimes, that crosses a line from tough football to something dirtier. It's the unspoken war between the traditional pocket passer and the new school playmaker. Shedeur Sanders represents the pinnacle of that new school. He's a pocket passer with the elite mobility to extend plays. He's a marketer's dream and a defensive coordinator's nightmare. And for some old school defenders, the only way to deal with that nightmare is to hit him, to intimidate him, to make him think twice about leaving the pocket. This hit in practice was a declaration of that war. It was a statement that said, "Your highlight reel plays won't fly here, rookie." But what they underestimated was Shedeur's resilience, and more importantly, the solidarity he would receive from the very stars who paved the way for him. Lamar Jackson stepping in is a massive deal. It's the passing of the torch and the forming of a shield, all at once. The story of Shedeur Sanders in the NFL is just getting started, and this is only chapter 1. It's a story about more than football. It's about legacy, about challenging the establishment, and about the price of greatness. The hit was dirty. The response from a star like Lamar Jackson was justified. And the fury from the fans is only the beginning. This won't be the last time we talk about this. The war in Cleveland is just heating up. So what do you think? Was this a deliberate, targeted hit designed to send a message to the rookie? Or was it just a physical football play that's being blown out of proportion? And more importantly, does Shedeur Sanders now have a bigger target on his back? Or has he just earned the respect of the entire league? Let me know in the comments down below. This is one conversation you don't want to miss. And if you want to stay on top of this story and all the drama the NFL doesn't want you to see, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. This is just getting started.